Welcome to Act 2. So, for this part of the act, you're going to want your tire, some water, some soap, and an applicator. Now you want enough water, as you can see, right here, that you can spill it, and get your soap, applicator. We're going to use the spongy side of the sponge, and then you need your tire. And we're going to lube it on the one side so we can push it over the rim and work it over real easy, and then we'll worry about putting it in the thing correctly. So we need to inspect our tire first and our rim and make sure that we're going to put it on the correct direction, which is good because most tires on bikes are directional. Good to know, right? So, as we look at our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tire, you will see probably right here at the tip of my finger, not that it's in focus, but it indicates our direction of rotation is this way. So as long as we have everything faced as it is with the bike, because the bike is pointing this way, everything will be just fine. And we just need to orient our hub and wheel assembly to match this direction, and then stick this on and put the tube in and finish. Finish! Okay. It's probably also a good time to remove our F230 Shinko 190 tubeless tire. Disregard that. We've got a spoked rim, we're using a tube. We'll be fine. And we'll probably look at makeshift balancing this maybe. Okay. So our direction of rotation is towards me on the top, as indicated by the indicated indicator. And what we want to do is get down here. Get a little bit of soap and our sponge. Rinse it off. Put a little bit of soap on the sponge. Work it into a almost lather. And you want to wet the inner. Okay, there's something else we need to do too, which sucks. Okay. Another thing you want to do is you want to get a nice cloth of some sort that's clean. And after you take all of the crap, yeah, it's pretty nasty. And this is less nasty. Closer to good. You want to get a relatively clean cloth that you can run on the inside of your tire to check for debris, get rid of any debris, bugs, crap, etc. that may be inside that you don't want to live with your new inner tube. Makes sense, right? So, grab it, run it through it. This is also a good way to check and make sure there's no cords if it's a radial. It's a good way to make sure there's no other debris that got in here from shipping, because most of these are shipped open to you, the end consumer. Seems pretty good. So that in there. Reapply. You want it to be moist, as such. And then the way we want to press this on is our direction of rotation is this way. Yes, as indicated. So we want to get our rim. Flip it around. And we want to look for our hole, our balance mark, and prematurely line those up. And you should be able to work this in pretty easily, just like we did the other way, but inverse. Usually if you make it this far along, it is simple enough, if you're not too overweight, to just do that. You probably will not bend your rim. Carefully dismount, and boom. Now let's prep our inner tube. Also, the other thing you want to do is you want to check your inner liner that it doesn't have holes in it. Sort of skip a step, but usually if it was okay, it'll still be okay. You want to clean up your other inner tube, prep it, which is take that off, your cap. There's your outer lock nut that goes on the outside of the rim. You ship with an inner lock nut. Oh boy. And then, carefully, work this to the inside. And I've seen this done both ways. I've done it both ways. They all sort of suck. I might actually try working it in the other way. Mother up. Turn that elsewhere. And you're in. We're going to go elsewhere. This stage is going to be pretty still. Go back into the tire. Next time we get it. I'll be fine. Get it out of it. Oh no! Perfect. I was thinking about doing this, but it's nice whole thing. We're not doing it now. What am I doing? You can do it. Okay. What's in there? Keep this going into there. Like that. Or get. So I'm going to have to heal. I'll go around a little bit. You know. Turn over. Forward. There. A couple of beads. And go across. No problem. No, we're actually right on. A little bit of reason. And should be equal. Should be equal. Take another key phraseology. There's no hole. Should be. Really is. That's a squeeze on the fingers. This. Can you plus? Okay, get this line in. Okay. So I also just want to do this. The struggle is real. Oh, crap. Okay. Just take small victories. Key part is to get it threaded and in the hole. Now it should be able to continue to thread and to finalize its position in life to match up with the balance mark, which is really what I've been going for this whole time in secret. You don't want to tell the tire. So if the tire knows, it'll start to work against you. Tires are funny like that. So are inner tubes. Woo! Doing pretty good. Alright. Now what we want to do is start working on the other side. We're going to clean it up. We should be able to ease it on the rest of the way with the tire spoons and a little bit of water. Should still be pretty soapy and sudsy. That's pretty nasty. At the same time. At the same time. Okay. That way. That's right. That's right. So I'll put them in as such. Should also be towards the center on both sides. Otherwise, rest case, other side we're working. 1, 2, and and then both. Start working. Close doing. Work carefully. Those things over close. Something to crush. Sudsy. Look. Not pitching. Rear tube. And should this whole thing. Take the inside as the goal. Don't see the hole. Use the time. Take out the choke point. Very quickly. So start doing carefully. It's drying too quick. Okay. Wipe off hands. Work on another inch or two. Grab another spoon. Pull another inch or two. Now we're making backwards progress, which usually you need to work with another spoon to prevent. Sometimes this is where you'll get into using screwdrivers and or wrenches to try and prevent the backwards march of the tire onto the rim, which can become a big issue. And you need to slack up a little bit to get your purchase, and pull. And elbow. Slack up. Not too much, but a little bit. If that was too much. Boy. Hook and tug it on over lightly. Down to the last little bit of lip. Usually if you press harder, you get to roll the lip and you're done. It's that easy. 45 simple steps. Okay, while I'm at it, let's clean up the rims a little bit. Since we're in here, anyways, like, you got to like down, clean up. Break us, progress off the time. Now we'll check on the line parts on that side. Drag. Just open it. A little bit, a little bit. And check on it. We're pretty close on. Just barely off. Okay. All 56. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now, by myself, in the speaking, I'm going to move but it's already going fast. You're going to quickly balance and structure purposes, mostly for deformation. So you're going to it's not taking up too much. I'm going to use it. We're going to put some blade. Let's put it. We're ready for it. Easy to get on the fence. Fence. Sensitive. Sensitive rim. Nice. So we're going to there. Down. You know. Swing up the door. Still good. Okay. It's hard to be. Almost ready. Nice face. That sucks. Okay, well, I'm going to go fire up the air compressor and we're going to put some air in this and try and set the bead a little bit. So we're off a little bit on alignment, but that should fix itself momentarily. Okay, we're back to the home stretch. Reinflated, everything looks good. It's not leaking. Need to put my spacer back in, and then we can put the axle back in, put the nut on, clamp it, and all that good fun stuff. And the real fun part's aligning the caliper and brakes onto the rotor. Woohoo! Past. Out past. Paying attention. There we go. Put our spacer back in. Didn't really check the bearings. Why would you? Why would I? Check the bearings, that's just dumb. Axle. They look fine. Who am I to judge? Fun part will be getting it back in between the pads as such. And then need to use a foot or a hand, you know. Get it lined up. Take your axle. And work the axle in. And you work the axle in. Meanwhile, not dropping your bike. Yeah, that feels pretty bent. It's not good. This machine was a bend in it, you know? It's machined that way, they said. It was born that way, they said. You want to be careful doing this because you are dealing with aluminum parts. You do need to align them a little bit. And that's centered where it should be. This was clamped pretty good. But this would explain the amount of rub. Man, if I have a bent rim again. That sounds terrible. You hear that, kids? That's the sound of bent parts. Too bad I don't have a runout indicator. That'd be useful right about now. So if we spin, adjust to least scraping, which is generally the most true. If you notice, it should spin freely if your bearings are fine. I either have a high spot or bent rotor or a bent rim or a bent axle, as it would seem. Ooh. Can't get too overzealous trying to do that. But if you hear that, the occasional scrape is okay. It's not great. I'm not sure if it's better to have continuous drag or sometimes drag. I just know any type of drag is a drag. Oh, okay. Put this back on. Okay. Listening to it slow the machine itself back to perfection. So all in, not too bad. Took about 2 hours to complete the front end. That's a combination of needing to get my jack, needing to gather up all my tools, air compressor, and all the other stuff. Checking, I think my front axle is bent a little bit. I do get some drag depending on how it's rotated. So it's bent, and I think my rotor or rim is also slightly bent, but it's imperceptible when driving on the road. I just had it up to 65, very unnoticeable. Or it's just the fact that it's slightly out of balance. But it is bent a little bit because you can hear the rotor drag when it turns. There is an actual high spot where it's bent. And if you rotate the axle around, you can get it to drag less, drag more consistent, less consistent. So that's interesting. But all in all, that's doing it. Feels pretty safe. Tires feel like tires. Nothing noticeable yet. I'll have an update on how that rides and feels on the front end of this, along with the 705 Shinko that's on the back, which has already got 1,700 miles on it, so that'll be coming in the future. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I cut most of this down, because there's about an hour of me dicking with stuff. Yep.